Hi, I'm talking to Dan Botz tonight about his new book, Trotsky in Tijuana. Hi, Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. So, Dan, tell us a little bit about this book.
Well, this is a novel about Leon Trotsky, and it's based on the premise that Trotsky, the famous revolutionary leader, once one of the rulers of the Soviet Union, who's in exile in Mexico, was not assassinated, as he was in reality, in August of 1940, but that he was saved and he lived on. And the president of Mexico moved him to Tijuana to live there. And he lives for 13 more years. But he lives in a world that was not at all what he expected. He lives in a world that was not what he predicted. And so he's faced with many challenges.
So, why'd you write this book?
Well, I think you know that probably all of us have had the experience of saying, what if things had worked out differently? Maybe in one's own life. What if I had not done this but done that? And I think also in history, we often wonder, well, what if history had not developed this way but another way? And I thought of using that counterfactual idea, counterfactual history, as a way of trying to get at Trotsky, projecting who he was in the period, say, from 1937 to 1940, projecting him into the future as he dealt with this world that he hadn't foreseen.
Great, but this book is a novel. It's not a history or a biographical study. So how did you accomplish explaining Trotsky in this way through a novel as opposed to a history?
Well, I tried to do it by having him interact with a variety of characters. Some of these are real historical figures, like his wife Natalia, or his sometime friend and erstwhile opponent, Victor Serge. And also with fictional characters, some of whom I've created. A couple of them that I think are interesting and fun are two people from Broadway, Maury Gold, who's a theatrical agent, and Rachel Silberstein, former Polish Jewish communist who's come to America and become a comedian and makes her living telling raunchy jokes. And Maury brings Rachel Silberstein into Trotsky's world. So I think by the interactions we see of Trotsky with people in his family, with friends, with political opponents, we are allowed to see Trotsky's personality. How does he behave? Who is he? What does he believe? At the same time, we have naturally in a book like this about Trotsky, who fought Joseph Stalin for years, both in the Soviet Union and later was a political opponent of his, we have Trotsky in the foreground, but we have Joseph Stalin in the background. Trotsky fighting to build his revolutionary Fourth International as an alternative to socialism and communism for the world's working class, and Stalin in the Soviet Union, leading the Soviet Union into World War II, on into the Cold War. And so we also have that juxtaposition of these two quite amazing people, amazing personalities, Trotsky and Stalin.
So thanks a lot. I think that's about all the time we have tonight. But before we end, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the book?
Well, I had a lot of fun writing it. I think it's great to wake up in the morning and meet people sometimes you didn't know, and they show up and you meet them. And I had a lot of fun writing it, and I hope the readers will have as much fun reading it. I hope they'll find it interesting and challenging. People who like politics will, I think. Anybody who, and all of us are interested in these very human things. What does it mean to be a human being, to live our life, to be in love, to age, to face death, and so on. So I hope that people read this, that if you have a book club or they have if there's a bookstore out there, I'd love to talk with people about this book. And I hope to meet them. I'll meet them in this way, but I'd like to meet them in person sometime and hear what they think of the book.
Great. So I look forward to reading the book myself, and thanks a lot for being with us today.
Thanks for doing the interview.